What up, guys and gals? Mr. Herr here on this rainy Thursday morning. Hopefully, everybody's healthy, wealthy, and wise on your end of things. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to continue with the confidence interval ideas, but we're going to expand upon those because we're going to have to jot down hypotheses first, the null hypothesis and the alternate. For a lot of you, this should be familiar. I know some of you enjoy saying when we get to reject the hypothesis for various reasons. So it shouldn't be too bad, and it should go pretty quick and pretty smoothly. Just some overarching FYIs. We're not going to have official school on Friday or on Monday. You might hear from me. In fact, the kids were asking if they could, send some messages towards you. So you might see a little video featuring the Nuggets. We'll have to wait and see. But, then on Tuesday, which is the 14th, we'll start official, quote unquote, new material. We will work in some grades, but trust me when I say, I want everybody to be as successful as possible. It'd be wonderful in my eyes if we could end up the fourth marking period with 19 A's. Just throwing that out there. And in case nobody told you this, sorry to break the secrets, but finals aren't happening. So if you haven't heard that, your boy Mr. Herr hooked you up. All right. So that's where we're at on this rainy Thursday. Side note, rainy days are perfect to stay in your PJs, to cuddle on the couch with a blanket, maybe read a book. Even if that means that book has pop-ups, because I know for me, sometimes I need that kind of laid back. I am so busy. Sorry, that was Bryn. So that's where we're at on this rainy Thursday. Without further ado, let's do this thing. Watch for the spring, and there you go. Hey, as always, this is the perfect time to pause the video, grab yourself a piece of paper, a pencil to follow along. Just throwing that out there. Hey, this is going to look awfully familiar to a lot of you. All I did was tweak it from some former problems. So the ACT is a college entrance exam. In addition to administering the exam, researchers at ACT run statistics to track progress. In 2018, the mean was 23.4 with a standard deviation of 5.8. Okay, so that's our known mean of 23.4 and our known deviation of 5.8. Mr. Haldeman maintains that the 2019 mean will be different, so he polled 25 students and found their average, should even say sample average, to be 25.1. Construct a 95% confidence interval to show if Mr. Haldeman was correct. Okay, so what we need to do here is we need to use the same formula we were talking about yesterday. X bar plus or minus Z alpha over 2 times standard deviation over the square root of n. Okay, that part's not going to change. We're just going to have to substitute appropriately. Also, there was a lot of information that was in our problem. We have the true mean. The true mean is believed to be 23.4. We have the true deviation of 5.8. We have a sample size of 25. And then we have the sample mean. Mr. Haldeman believes it to be, he believed it to be 25.1, our sample mean. Okay, so we'll substitute that in a moment. You might say, but wait a minute, mister. I don't see our mu over here at all. Here's why. We have to set up the null hypothesis, which is HO, okay? And then we have to set up our alternate hypothesis, which is HA, okay? Well, what did ACT believe the mean to be? They believe the mean is 23.4. So we're gonna stick with that, the 23.4, until proven otherwise. And what does Mr. Haldeman think? Well, he maintains that it will be different. We don't know if it's going to be greater than, and we don't know if it's going to be less than, but he thinks it's going to be different than 23.4. So we take our mu not equal to 23.4. Right here, this is what we want to see to be true. We're going to believe this until proven otherwise. Okay, so we have our hypotheses, check. We have all our info, check. Now just plug and chug, guys and gals. X bar, well, that's 25.1 plus or minus, I'll skip my z value just for a moment, standard deviation of 5.8 divided by the square root of 25. If you're saying, Mr. Herr, where do we find our z value? It's on the bottom of our chart, and yes, I'll be sure to upload another normal curve just in case you need it every time. 98% is at the bottom of our chart, and that matches up with a z-score of 2.33. Okay, so we're going to find our confidence interval, and sorry that the paper shifted. We're going to find our confidence interval, and if the original mean is still in there, that means it must not have changed. If it's not still in there, however, that means something did change with our expectations. So when you run your confidence interval, we end up with a lower interval of 22.40. We end up with a higher interval, or the upper interval, of 27.80. Okay. Now, is our original mean 23.4? Is it in there? Yep. So 23.4 is in there because it's between 22.4 and 27.8. Check. Therefore, we do not reject the null hypothesis. And I know some of us are giggling because of that. But don't reject the null hypothesis. Because it's in our interval, we do not reject. If it was outside of our interval, whether it's on the lower half or on the upper half, reject it. Kind of, sort of, kind of. Okay. Number 2 here, same idea. I am going to pick up the pace though, because I know the video is getting a little long. Okay. The mean monthly cell phone in 2018 was 6171. So we're going to believe that to be true until proven otherwise. That's our mu value. Okay. The researcher pulls a simple random sample of 144 people, check, and obtains a new mean, or a sample mean, of 62.01. Assuming the standard deviation for the population is 1849, use this data to determine whether the mean monthly phone bill is changed from 6171 with 95% confidence. Okie dokie. So we're still going to use the exact same formula we did before. Okay, that part's not going to change. While I'm writing here, I'm just going to substitute and go. Okay, our z value 1.96, we find that straight from our chart. No surprises there. But what I've neglected to do thus far is I've neglected to write down my hypotheses. So the null and the alternate. Once again, the null is what's believed to be true until proven otherwise. Well, we're going to believe that the mean is still $61.71 until proven otherwise. They didn't say if it went up or if it went down. It just asked if it changed. So we'll say mu not equal to 61.71. Our null hypothesis is it is still that. Our alternate is that it's changed. It's just anything else other than 61.71. Hey, we have everything we need to run with here. We just have to plug and chug our numbers. At the risk of being repetitive, because that's kind of my MO, be very careful when typing. It's so easy to make a mistake. I mean, I'm crazy old and I still make decent amount of typing mistakes, so just be careful on that end. Our lower end of our confidence interval is $58.99. Our upper end of our confidence interval is $65.03. Okay, well, is 61.71, is it in our interval? You betcha. 61.71 is in there, check. So do not reject. Once again, if it's less than the interval, if it was on the lower end, we would reject if it was down here. If it was on the upper end, if it's outside of our interval there, we would reject. But because it's inside our interval, do not reject. Hey, I hope this rings some bells. Hopefully it's not too tough. Yeah, enjoy the weekend, folks, and this rainy day. There's something to be said about cuddling up on the couch with a good book and a blanket on a rainy day. All right? Peace.